We are going to change the string on this Scorpyd crossbow. It's a compound crossbow. We're going to change the string on it. Can you believe that? That's pretty cool. Yes, it can be done. Did it last year, right? Took off the factory string that came with it. Still have that. I think it's in this little nailer right here. And could put that on. That's my backup. The serving on this guy, the custom string from America's Best Bowstrings that we put on here, is getting a little chewed up. It needs a little attention. I'm just going to put a new string on here, another one that I have from America's Best Bowstrings, and I am going to ship this one off to them. And for like 10 or 15 bucks, they're going to replace the serving for me, send it back, and I got that for next year. This one, if we put a new one on today, a fresh string, should get us through 2022, 2023 hunting seasons, no problem. This last string lasted about a year, no problem. To do this job, we're going to use a hardwood dowel about 10 inches in length. Last year I used a screwdriver. That's okay. You can do that in a pinch. The problem with that is you run the risk of the screwdriver scraping up the finish on the limbs, maybe something like that. Also, it can leave a burr or a ding if it goes in there cockeyed in the cams. You'll see what I mean by that. And I don't want that to happen. We don't want that to happen. We want this to have a little bit of give to it. So you could use a screwdriver with like a nylon hose over it or something like that. But this dowel, 5/8 inch dowel, will be strong enough to do this job, but it shouldn't damage any of the metal or the limbs. The other thing that we need for this job is the block here that I made when I first got this crossbow. In fact, it's even dated 4/3/21. That's when we got this and first made this little block. Disregard the holes in it. Those were just in the piece of wood that I had that was handy. It says Scorpyd on it, and then it has stirrup with an arrow pointing toward this side. And the reason for that is we are going to set this on the cams like that, pointing toward the stirrup, right? And then the lines line up with the cams, with the timing holes in the cams. And if they do that on both sides, which they do, that means that we have perfect timing. And we want the timing on this crossbow, obviously, to be the same when we're done as it is right now, because right now it's perfect. So here is the string that's going on there. And what we're going to do, we're going to get the existing string off and carefully take it off without unraveling it, without changing the twist. And then we're going to compare it in length to this and make sure the two are exactly the same. All right. Genevieve is not helping today. It is Michelle, my wife, is helping us. So Genevieve's mom. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull this back, and we're going to slide. As I pull back and cock this crossbow, the cams will rotate. And as this rotates out, this hole right here, you're going to take that dowel rod and put it in here to brace it, as we discussed. Ready? Mm-hmm. I will gently pull back. Hold on. Is it the right one?
Yep.
And just let it sit up against that. We'll let go. You like it?
Yeah.
And with that held in place by the dowel rod, we very carefully can get our hands in here. See, the string is now loosened up, so we can just very carefully get this guy off, and it's got to go on the same way, around this little teardrop thing down through the groove and around. We can also take the cocking device off. We can rest that right up here. And we'll do the same thing over here. Gently get that out of there. And carefully, without getting our fingers knocked off here or any place in the line of fire. There isn't really too much danger. That thing, unless it broke the dowel rod, it really can't do anything. But we'll get that off of there. The big thing is we don't want to have too many, we don't want to change the number of twists in that string. They always put these paper clips on there. They are in love with paper clips. Get this new string out of here with no paper clips on it. Take those off. And then the key is going to be to make sure that these two strings are the same length. For this job, I'm going to use a screwdriver and just carefully put that through there to hold it on this end so that these two strings, I can hold on to it this way and then stretch them out. They appear to be the same length. I'm going to take it out of here without letting it unravel or in twisting it in any way. I am going to reinstall it now. Let's move the camera. And to do that, we're just going to reverse the process, but without twisting it. So what we're going to do, I don't want to twist it. It kind of wants to go the other way. We're going to take this off of here and feed it through like this. Put it in there. We'll get that on there. Yep. Like perfect. pull that through there without unraveling it. That's the key, because we got the length right where we wanted it. I'm going to come over on the other side here. All right, that is fed back on there. Now if I can line it up good, timing, and then this guy came out, so he's got to okay, both of those are there. All right, I can pretty these two up. I'm going to pull back on this. We're just going to reverse the process. When I pull back, you
take out the dowel.
Pull the dowel out, straight out, straight out. And then I will let this down. Our timing. All right. You can stop that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moment of truth. Visual inspection, that and that, those two timing marks look about right. But we're going to use our little block stirrup, pointing toward the stirrup. But first we're going to get the cocking device out of the way. And put that on there. Perfect. Put that on there. Ooh, that one's in a little bit. This one is perfect. That one is in a little bit. So we are going to have to adjust our... What happened was this adjusted, I'm thinking. I figured out what my timing issue was. Make sure when you take it apart and put it back together that your cables go back in these little holes in the block. And the block, obviously, you want to make sure it remains perfectly situated where it is. That cable, this dude right here, was the culprit. It had popped out. See what I'm doing here? This guy had popped out, and it was sort of laying under that block. Doesn't look like it was damaged in any way. Just had to redo the process and then make sure that that cable got properly seated. Ooh. All right, now got the cocking device out of the way. Brand new serving, equally spaced on both sides as it should be. It looks good to me. We've got our handy little block. We're going to double check, pointing toward the stirrup. Look on here, perfect. Look over here, perfect. Look at that. Looks good on that one. Looks good on that one. Axle to axle, right on the money. Perfect timing, perfect string change on the Scorpyd Deathstalker. Let's go test it out. See if we can shoot it without blowing it up, but also see if we can get a shot down range here, 20 yards on the bulldog target. And that's what we're aiming at. We are trying to hit the bulldog target. And I'll aim right at the middle because I don't know what this thing's going to do. It was all sighted in before, but now that we've changed the string, let's see how far off it is. Wow, we're a little low, but you can't beat that for a new string. Ha! Not too bad. For a new string, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So, man, it looks sharp, doesn't it? Doesn't that look sharp? So, I'm going to play with it a little bit, make sure it's me and not the crossbow, but we'll dial that in at 20, and I'm going to take a poke at those other targets out there and see how we make out. Hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, all hail Bunjie III.